She thought you'd chase, but you did this instead. Imagine a life where you are unshaken by the storms around you, where your peace comes from within and not from the world's approval. A life where you no longer chase after fleeting desires, but stand firm in your own power, guided by integrity and wisdom. Today I invite you on a journey into the heart of Stoic philosophy, a path that reveals the true source of strength and freedom. Together we will explore how mastering ourselves, not others, unlocks a deeper, more fulfilling existence. Stay with me, and let's uncover the transformative power of these timeless principles. Number 1. Focus on self-control. Self-control is at the very core of Stoic philosophy. It is the ability to regulate one's emotions, actions, and thoughts, especially when faced with external pressures or challenging situations. The Stoics believed that while we cannot control the world around us, we always have control over how we respond to it. This practice of self-mastery ensures that our decisions are guided by reason and virtue, not by the impulses of our emotions or desires. A powerful example of self-control can be found in the story of a great Stoic philosopher, Epictetus. Once, as a slave, Epictetus was cruelly treated by his master. Yet, he never allowed his circumstances to govern his emotional state. One day, when his master twisted his leg in anger, Epictetus calmly responded, "You can twist my leg, but you cannot twist my mind." He understood that while his body could be harmed, his inner peace and self-control remained within his own power. This story demonstrates that regardless of what happens to us, we have the choice to maintain our dignity and composure. Self-control goes beyond mere reaction. It is the active choice to act rationally and virtuously in all situations. For instance, when faced with criticism or praise, a Stoic chooses not to react impulsively, but to evaluate the situation with a calm and thoughtful mind. This way they remain steadfast, unshaken by others' opinions or external circumstances. True self-control is not the suppression of emotions, but the ability to choose which emotions we allow to drive our actions. It is about understanding that our happiness and peace are not dependent on what happens to us, but on how we choose to react. The Stoic teaches us that, through self-control, we are the masters of our own minds and our own destinies. Number 2. Mastery of desire. A fundamental aspect of Stoic philosophy is the mastery of desire. The Stoics believe that unchecked desires are a primary source of human suffering because they create a false sense of dependence on external things. Desires can manifest in many forms: material wealth, social recognition, power, or even personal validation. In Stoic thought, these desires are often rooted in external circumstances, and by allowing oneself to become controlled by them, one opens the door to frustration and discontent when the desired outcomes do not materialize. To master desire, the Stoic recognizes that it is not the object of desire itself that leads to happiness, but the cultivation of an inner state of contentment, regardless of external conditions. For instance, instead of desiring wealth or luxury as a means to happiness, a Stoic shifts their focus to living a life of virtue and self-sufficiency. They understand that wealth and status, while not inherently bad, are not necessary for a good life. The Stoics' approach to desire involves questioning whether it aligns with their values and whether it is truly in their control. If a desire is based on something external, like the approval of others or material gain, it is considered unworthy of pursuit because it lies beyond one's own agency. The Stoic aims to turn inward, seeking fulfillment from within by practicing virtues such as wisdom, courage, and justice, rather than by fulfilling fleeting desires. This mastery over desire doesn't mean suppression or denial of all wants, but rather a disciplined approach to distinguishing between what is necessary for a flourishing life and what is merely a distraction. It involves focusing on what is truly important and cultivating the inner peace that comes with accepting that not every desire needs to be fulfilled. Number 3. Detachment from outcome. In Stoic philosophy, detachment from the outcome is a central concept that teaches individuals to focus on the process of their actions rather than obsessing over the results. The Stoics believed that external events and outcomes are beyond our control, and that true peace comes from letting go of the need to control these factors. Rather than measuring success by external accomplishments, a Stoic measures success by how well they align their actions with their principles, virtues, and wisdom. When a person is overly attached to a specific outcome, they become vulnerable to frustration, disappointment, or anxiety if things do not unfold as they expect. The Stoic teaches that this attachment to outcomes is a source of suffering because it places one's happiness and peace of mind in the hands of unpredictable external events. Whether the result is positive or negative, the Stoic understands that their worth is not determined by it. The Stoic focuses on what is within their control, their intentions, efforts, and responses to challenges. For example, in pursuing a goal, the Stoic commits to doing their best, without becoming fixated on whether they will achieve the desired result. They understand that all outcomes are influenced by external factors that are beyond their ability to control, such as the actions of others or unforeseen circumstances. Therefore, the Stoics' contentment lies in knowing that they have acted virtuously and with integrity, regardless of whether they succeeded in their external goal. Detachment from the outcome helps the Stoic maintain tranquility in the face of life's inevitable uncertainties. By focusing on the present moment and the quality of their actions, the Stoic frees themselves from the anxiety and frustration that often arise when outcomes do not meet expectations. Number 4. Embrace of silence. The Stoic approach to communication emphasizes the value of silence, particularly in moments of emotional intensity or external pressure. For the Stoic, silence is not a passive retreat, but an active choice that reflects self-control, wisdom, and discernment. The decision to remain silent when others expect a response or reaction is often a deliberate act of restraint, rooted in the Stoic belief that words and actions should be measured, purposeful, and aligned with virtue. Silence allows the Stoic to avoid the impulsive reactions that often arise from emotional disturbance or external provocation. In a world that frequently demands quick responses, people often speak out of frustration, desire for validation, or a need to be heard. The Stoic, however, understands that speaking hastily can lead to regret, misunderstanding, or unnecessary conflict. Rather than reacting impulsively, they choose silence as a way to maintain control over their thoughts and emotions. By pausing before speaking, they create space for rational reflection, ensuring that their words are guided by reason and virtue. Silence helps the Stoic to avoid unnecessary engagement in trivial or superficial conversations. The Stoic values meaningful dialogue, and when faced with exchanges that do not contribute to their growth or the well-being of others, they opt for silence rather than filling the air with empty words. In this way, silence serves as both a protective barrier and a tool for cultivating inner peace. In moments of expectation, silence also conveys strength and self-sufficiency. It communicates that the Stoic is not swayed by external pressures or emotional manipulation. Their sense of self-worth and composure is not contingent upon pleasing others or satisfying social norms. By embracing silence, the Stoic demonstrates mastery over their inner world, reinforcing their commitment to living with integrity and purpose. Number 5. Value of integrity. Integrity is a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, deeply tied to the pursuit of virtue and the alignment of one's actions with their true principles. For the Stoic, integrity means acting consistently with one's values, regardless of external influences or outcomes. It is the steadfast commitment to doing what is right, not for personal gain or recognition, but because it is inherently virtuous. This unwavering commitment to ethical behavior forms the foundation of a Stoic's character. The Stoic believes that integrity is essential to true freedom, for without it, one's actions are driven by external pressures or fleeting desires. A person lacking integrity is swayed by the opinions of others, by social expectations, or by the fear of loss or failure. The Stoic, however, makes decisions based on reason and virtue, not on what will please others or result in immediate gratification. They understand that true honor lies in doing what is right, even when no one is watching or when there is no reward. Integrity also requires a level of self-awareness and honesty. A Stoic must be willing to examine their motives and actions critically, ensuring that their choices align with their values. This means resisting the temptation to conform to societal pressures or to engage in actions that compromise their sense of self. It is the ability to act according to one's principles, even when doing so may be difficult or unpopular. For the Stoic, integrity is not a means to an end, but a way of being. It is the cultivation of a character that remains constant and steadfast, regardless of the circumstances. Through integrity, the Stoic not only upholds their moral duty, but also fosters inner peace, knowing that their actions reflect their highest values and contribute to their development as virtuous individuals. Number 6. Focus on inner peace. Inner peace is not a passive state, but an active result of living in harmony with one's values, thoughts, and actions. The Stoic believes that true contentment does not come from external achievements or possessions, but from cultivating a calm and balanced mind, irrespective of the chaos or uncertainties that may surround them. Inner peace is rooted in the Stoic practice of focusing on what is within one's control and accepting what is not. To achieve inner peace, a Stoic must first recognize that external events, whether they are successes, failures, the behavior of others, or circumstances beyond their control, do not determine their happiness. What truly matters is how one responds to these events. The Stoic strives to maintain equanimity in the face of adversity and joy, acknowledging that while they cannot control life's outcomes, they have the power to control their responses. This ability to regulate their emotional reactions is essential to achieving and maintaining inner peace. Central to this pursuit is the Stoic concept of virtue. By living in accordance with reason and practicing virtues such as wisdom, courage, and justice, the Stoic builds a strong foundation for peace. They understand that by aligning their actions with their highest values, they reduce the internal conflict that arises from acting contrary to their nature. The inner calm that follows from acting in alignment with one's principles cannot be disturbed by external events. A Stoic practices mindfulness, staying focused on the present moment rather than dwelling on past mistakes or anxiously anticipating future challenges. This mindfulness allows them to let go of unnecessary worry, fostering a sense of tranquility that is not easily shaken. For the Stoic, true peace comes from within, and it is only through this internal harmony that they can navigate the external world with grace and resilience. Number 7. Rejection of games. The Stoic philosophy fundamentally rejects the idea of playing emotional or psychological games, which are often seen as manipulation, deceit, or the pursuit of superficial victories. In a world that frequently encourages games of power, influence, and control, whether in relationships, business, or society, Stoics choose a different path. They understand that engaging in such games only leads to unnecessary conflict, confusion, and emotional turmoil, diverting attention from the pursuit of virtue and wisdom. The Stoic rejection of games is the belief that human actions should be guided by authenticity, integrity, and a commitment to doing what is right, rather than by ulterior motives or attempts to gain advantage. When people manipulate others or play games with their emotions, they are operating from a place of insecurity or fear, attempting to control outcomes and secure personal gains at the expense of others. The Stoic, however, sees no virtue in such behavior. They recognize that when one operates from a place of manipulation, they compromise their character and undermine their own peace of mind. The Stoic values directness and honesty in all interactions. They understand that relationships, whether personal, professional, or social, should be based on mutual respect and sincerity, not on hidden agendas or strategies. By rejecting games, the Stoic frees themselves from the anxiety and deceit that accompany them. Their focus remains on their own actions and how they can align those actions with their ethical principles, rather than on manipulating others or controlling outcome. By living authentically and with integrity, the Stoic cultivates genuine connections with others based on trust and respect. They realize that it is far more rewarding to act with virtue and transparency than to win in any short-term, shallow contest. Rejecting the games of the world leads to a life of simplicity, where actions are measured by their righteousness, not by the results they produce. Number 8. The power of non-attachment. In Stoic philosophy, non-attachment is a vital concept that encourages individuals to free themselves from excessive attachment to external things, including people, possessions, and outcomes. The Stoics believe that attachment to things beyond our control is a source of suffering and anxiety, because these things are constantly changing and we cannot depend on them for our happiness or peace of mind. True strength lies in cultivating detachment, which is not about abandoning the world or emotions, but about understanding that nothing external can truly define us. Non-attachment is rooted in the Stoic principle that the only things within our control are our thoughts, actions, and responses to the world. Everything else, whether it be material wealth, social status, or the behavior of others, is beyond our ability to control. By releasing the need for these things to provide our happiness, the Stoic allows themselves the freedom to experience life without being overly affected by fluctuations in circumstance. The Stoic does not cling to the idea of success or the fear of failure, understanding that both are temporary and often beyond one's control. This non-attachment also extends to relationships. While the Stoic values friendships and bonds with others, they do not base their self-worth on these connections. They understand that people can change and that relationships are not always permanent. As a result, they engage with others with compassion and kindness, but do not rely on others for validation or a sense of security. This detachment allows the Stoic to love and care deeply without being overwhelmed by the fear of loss or rejection. By practicing non-attachment, the Stoic maintains a sense of inner freedom and resilience. They can enjoy life's pleasures without becoming dependent on them, and face hardships without being consumed by them. This approach leads to emotional stability, allowing the Stoic to navigate the ups and downs of life with equanimity. Number 9. Principled decision-making. Principled decision-making is at the heart of Stoic philosophy, emphasizing the importance of making choices based on rational thought, virtue, and ethical values, rather than on emotions or external pressures. A Stoic seeks to align their actions with their principles, making decisions that reflect their commitment to virtue and reason, regardless of the consequences or how others might react. For the Stoic, decision-making begins with understanding what is truly within one's control. They believe that the only thing a person can fully control is their own response to situations. Therefore, a Stoic focuses on acting in ways that align with reason, wisdom, courage, and justice. In any given situation, the Stoic asks, "What is the right thing to do here?" rather than, "What will bring me the most benefit or pleasure?" They know that the ultimate goal is not personal gain, but moral excellence and the pursuit of a virtuous life. When faced with difficult choices or moral dilemmas, the Stoic does not rely on fleeting emotions or desires, but on a clear understanding of their principles and values. For example, if a Stoic is tempted by a short-term benefit that might compromise their integrity, they would reject it in favor of long-term peace of mind that comes from acting according to their higher values. This consistency in decision-making creates a strong moral character and helps the Stoic navigate life's challenges with clarity and confidence. The Stoic approach to principled decision-making also involves reflection and self-examination. They strive to learn from past experiences and continually refine their understanding of what is virtuous. This ongoing process of self-improvement ensures that their choices remain grounded in reason and aligned with their commitment to personal growth. Number 10. True freedom lies in self-determination. In Stoic philosophy, true freedom is not found in the ability to control external events, but in the power to control one's responses to them. The Stoics teach that while we cannot govern the circumstances or actions of others, we always retain control over our own thoughts, attitudes, and decisions. This self-determination, or mastery over one's own mind, is seen as the ultimate form of freedom. For the Stoic, freedom is not about the absence of external constraints, but the presence of inner strength and autonomy. A person may face challenges, obstacles, and even injustices in life, but their response to these experiences is entirely within their control. By choosing how to react, whether with patience, resilience, or wisdom, a Stoic exercises their greatest power, the ability to maintain their inner peace regardless of the external world. Self-determination also means aligning one's actions with virtuous principles rather than being swept along by the whims of others or the pressures of society. A Stoic does not seek freedom through rebellion or the avoidance of responsibility, but through living a life of integrity guided by reason and purpose. They understand that true liberty is not about having endless choices or indulging in every desire, but about mastering oneself and acting according to what is right. By focusing on what they can control, namely their own character, decisions, and emotions, a Stoic finds the freedom to live authentically and with purpose. In this way, they break free from the constant need for external approval or validation. The Stoics' inner freedom allows them to live in harmony with themselves and the world, unshaken by the uncontrollable forces around them. True freedom, in the Stoic sense, is the power to determine one's own path, guided by virtue and wisdom. Stoic philosophy teaches us that true strength comes not from external power or the manipulation of others, but from mastering ourselves. Through self-control, integrity, non-attachment, principled decision-making, and the pursuit of inner peace, we find freedom from the chaos of the world. By living with virtue and focusing on what is within our control, we can navigate life's challenges with grace and resilience. May you continue to embrace these Stoic principles, and may they guide you toward a life of fulfillment and wisdom. Thank you for your time and good luck on your journey.